So, welcome to the Wednesday morning training. Once again, it is the last Wednesday of February 2022. I almost said the year wrong. 2020, since it seems to be like we're in this, like, remember that movie Groundhog Day? You just kept waking up and it was like, when is this going to be over? So, let's hop into the theme of these topics. I do these trainings every week and they are live. Sometimes I can see, which maybe I can fire it up here on my phone. If you have any questions, type them in and ask. If I can, I will get to it. If I can't, we'll get to the questions after we do this. And I might even do some Q&A type of stuff here coming up because we've got a lot of people that are in this community now, and this is growing very fast. We've almost tripled this in less than 2 months, and it's going fast. And the topic that I chose today was one that I wondered many, many years on, or my own self, like behind the scenes, what are people using, to grow their business? What tools are necessary and stuff like that? Because I built my business offline for a very, very long time. I started in 2001. And when I got to 2007, I was like, whoa, this internet thing, I can maybe do this. And I would look at people, and I'm looking for the cord here. I would look at people and wonder, what is beyond the thing going on here? And over the years, I've acquired some things, and a lot of times I've bought things that were a waste of money. There's always a newfangled thing someone's trying to sell you as far as what tools you might need, or this fancy schnazzy software, or things like that. And I try to use tools and subscriptions that are easy and inexpensive, because you can spend hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars a month just on stuff to run your business, and you're not even making money yet. It's just the overhead operating costs. And there are overhead operating costs in your business. You have to understand that this is a business. And I talk to many people in network marketing that everybody wants to make 10K a month. It's just, I want to make $10,000 a month. It's like the thing, like 9 out of 10 people say that, but they're like, they want to do it on a shoestring, and they have no prospects. They don't want to leave their home. They have no friends. They have no network, and they want to make 10 grand a month. And they've been trying for a year or two. I hear it every day. And part of the problem in the network marketing industry is that people come in, and the uplines and the companies and the gurus say, just share with your friends and family, and that's all you need to do in this business. Well, that's a load of crap. Well, especially after the first, usually, few months, you've worked through your warm market, friends, family, first tier network of people. And so you've got to expand your business beyond that. Then on the other side of that, there's people who get to that point and they're like, what do I do next? Then they all turn to the internet. I'm going to start building my business online. And then there's the people that join that say, well, I don't want to talk to my friends and family. I'm going to build my business online. And they take one little $29 course or a free webinar, and they try the tactics in there, and they don't get very far. And then here they are like, oh, this business doesn't work. And they never became a professional in the industry. They never treated their business like a professional in the industry. And they leave, and there's no money that was made, which the problem is people were set up at the beginning, just share, and you're going to make 10 grand a month. You're going to get your why. And that's not how this works. So the more you treat your business like you are operating a business, and you have things that you use, like tools, and you get training and all that other good stuff. And I'll put a training link, even on Facebook ads in the link above, or if you're watching the rebroadcast, it might be below, but look for wherever there's a description. I'll put a link in there for Facebook ads training, because you have to become a professional of the industry, and you treat your business as such. And therefore, guess what happens? You start to make professional income of the industry. And do you need to go broke, spending money on monthly subscriptions and tools and websites and all that? No, you don't. But you do need some things. And you do need, I'm going to give you kind of the bare bones and then some optional things. But we do use tools that make our life easier. And some tools are necessary, especially beyond just reaching out to friends and family. And so, I always hear the joke, just take your phone and start sharing and run everything through here, which you can to some degree. But if you are really serious about this, you need to have some tools in place. And these are the ones that I am going to share with you that I think are like kind of, bare bones, but, the reality of things that you will need and why. And then I'm going to share with you some optional things as well. And maybe this will help you. It helps me to talk about it, because I remember, oh yeah, there was that thing that I forgot that I do. So let's talk about this here today in my very high-tech, fancy PowerPoint. I will tell you that I have found one thing interesting in life, especially my business. The more fancy it is, that doesn't mean that it's going to sell better. Some of my ugliest websites converted better than my websites that are fancy schmancy, that I had a lot of things put into it and a lot of time and effort. So let's talk about equipment, like literally equipment, like this is a piece of equipment, type of thing. So if you're going to run your business online, especially if you're doing presentations, and I hope you can see this well enough, one of the great factors, when you're going into a market of people that doesn't know you yet, which we call the cold market. Your warm market are your friends and your family. The cold market are people you don't know yet. That's how I look at it. So you're going to, need to find ways to build trust and conversation and stuff like that. One of my favorite ways to do that is through video, just like today. You're watching the video. It's possible we didn't meet yet, but you can get a feel for me and know if you like me, trust me, like even on a subconscious level through a video. So I'm a huge advocate of videos, even if they're ugly and unpolished and all that, So one of the things you don't need fancy lenses on your computer or anything like that. Just have a phone with a decent camera. All right. And on your phone, hot tip here, clean your lens where your camera is. I see a lot of videos like that are dirty lensed camera. Even here, I'm going to clean my lens. Clean your lens, please. So an iPhone, an Android, whatever it is, good phone. There's other stuff out there, but get a good phone, because that will give you good video. I mean, in the old days, we had to buy external cameras for our TV computer, and they were expensive. I remember I had one clipped on the front of my computer, and it was expensive. Or I remember the day my dad came home with that big video camera on his shoulder that was like this long, and you'd go around with that, and it was massive and a very expensive piece of tool back in the 80s, right when that came out. So you just need a smartphone and it will probably work great. Okay. Lighting is a very big deal. Now, the interesting thing about my office here is this over here is natural lighting. This over here is artificial lighting. So let me show you what this is like without lighting. Okay. And I am broadcasting through my computer, but you would notice it without the, if I was with the camera, you'd see the same problem. So I'm going to turn my light off and you're going to see the shadow on my face. So if you could see how much of a difference that makes not having a light. Now I could turn it like this and put my video there. And, you know, I could do that. I mean, that's, especially if you're new and you don't have the resources to get a light, but honestly, I've used a table light, like a table lamp. I've used a floor light. You don't need anything very, very fancy, but if you're going to record a lot of videos and you're really going to go to town on this, I would invest into what we call a ring light. I'm going to show you that here on good old, ring light. And there's a lot of them out there. You can even get a little mini ring light for your phone. It's like really cool. It plugs into the little thing. But there's all these different ones. When I first started doing this, there was just Stellar. But there's a lot of different ring lights that you can check out, see what works for you, see what you like. I mean, this one now is, I don't know how big that is. It's 10.5 inches tall, and it's got, mine is big. It's on the ground and it's got a big, like the ring is like probably almost, I bet you it's 18 inches. So these are little guys that sit on your desk. You can get you softer light filters. I have that on mine as well, but I've got, you know, these big ones. This is a big one. The original one that, see, this gal's got one. It really makes a big difference. And like now I'm telling you, these are only like $40. When I got that light, they were 200 and almost 300. So just, you're winning because you're coming in now a little bit later in the game, but you can get all these things. And look at this little tiny one. I'm sorry, I'm getting like squirreling out on this, but I think mine was Stellar. Mine's a Stellar. Let's see if they've got them. The Diva light, that's a big popular one. And they don't have them on here anymore. So, I mean, honestly, there's a fraction of the price is when I got that one. And I've had that one probably like 5-6 years. So go to town on a ring light. Now you can get them for like El Cheapo, like $40 versus 200 some dollars. So you're winning on that one. Lighting, honestly, I'm kind of shocked because I haven't been in looking at ring lights because I have one in a really, really long time. And my jaw is kind of hitting my desk here because I had no idea you could get them that inexpensive now. Another thing, if you're going to be recording videos, it's optional, just like the lighting is one, but they can make a big difference, especially if you're doing a lot of videos. And a microphone is a really, really great thing. So I want you to hear the difference between these two things. Now, I just unplugged my microphone and I'm going to show you which one I have because I have purchased a lot. And it makes a big difference for audio or podcasting or things like that. I'm going to plug that back in. I hope there is enough time where you can see the difference of my non-microphone, and I'm going to plug my microphone back in. Is it necessary? Does it really help? Yes. So I can hear the difference because I've got my ears plugged into the mic. So I'm going to talk to you about a little bit about mics. On a budget, this little external deal for $15 works great. Okay. This is a great starter one, especially when you record. In my office, I need to put some things on the walls that, will soften the echo, because I've got no carpeting in here and the walls don't have anything. I've got some things I want to put behind me, but you can hear that tinny, echoey sound to a degree in the background. On my podcast, if you go to Apple, iTunes, or Google Podcasts or Spotify, and you search for Jen Springer Likes to Leads, my first podcast, I haven't been podcasting that long for Likes to Leads, but my first groups of podcasts, my mic died and I was getting a new mic and I couldn't decide. So I did, I don't know, maybe half a dozen without an external mic. And then I got the mic and you can totally hear the difference in the quality of the sound. So I tell you, it's a little thing and you don't need it to survive, but it's an optional thing and it will make a big difference. So these little $10, $15 ones are great. Now, the next step up that I would recommend on this, if you're going to go in, is this one, the Yeti. The Yeti is the one that I have right here. It's a gorgeous microphone. It's giving me wonderful quality. And it might be good if I shoved it up my nose and my throat to get a really good sound, but it's, maybe 12 inches from my mouth right here. I got this one because I like the color. Nope, that's not it. I got this one. I got this one because I like the color. Things are important in my life, like the color of things. Why do you like that car? Because I like the color. There, I got that one. It's really cool. Yep, it's blue, but it's the blue whatever edition, teal right here. But they mount and they do all kinds of things. This is a great mic. It's not terribly expensive. You can mount it on a boom if you want. And it's the next level up from those little $15 mics. But is it necessary? No. Is it any external mic necessary? No. Could it help if you're doing a ton of videos or audios? Yes. It just sounds better and people appreciate it. I ran a very, very successful podcast for 7 years. And I had some of the crappiest audio in the world on there because people were dialing in on their cell phone and the signal was in and out. And like one person out of tens of thousands of people ever commented on the audio. And I'm like, if you can't hear through some of the issues with this audio and get the content, and if my audio quality bothers you, then you're not my people. But on the other side of that, do I want to present well? Of course I do. So, in that situation, I was having people dial in on their phones. They weren't sitting next to me in a studio. It did make a difference, when I was able to do that. So it's like splitting hairs, but you can decide based off of my little experiment with you just a minute ago with that, if you liked the way the sounds were. Like I said, if you want to start with an inexpensive mic, just go with one of those little $15 ones. It's a good investment. So if you're doing videos, do you need to get all crazy and start with camera or video editors or things like that? No. Honestly, most of the time, I never even video edit. On your phone, if you're doing a video, I'm going to give you a couple pointers on doing a video from your phone. One is to clean your lens. This one, my mic is not working right. So if people call me, I can't do voice to text anymore very well. And I can't do audio messages, just a little talky. So all my friends must be like, why aren't you doing that anymore? The mic's broke. I need a new phone. It's probably got horsehair in it or something. But a few tips on recording on the phone. And again, you can do a lot of this on the phone versus a computer, but I'm going to talk about that too. So when you got your phone this way at you or this way, now the new phones have all these crazy lenses that do really cool things. But no matter what you're doing, please record landscape versus this way. Okay. because then your video will fill the whole screen when you record, versus if we intuitively hold our phones like this. And when you do this, there's going to be the black bars on the side. And some phones will put like a blurry version of mirror of you on the side, but please hold your phone to the side when you do your videos, or this way, depending on, you'll have to play with it, do some recording and play with that. You also you use different mics when you hold it different ways, and you might like the sound of one over the other. The quality might be different versus one versus the other. But I tell you, the number one thing on this is your lighting and cleaning your lens. Okay. And then you can edit on your phone in iMovie. I know, I'm sure Google, not Google, Android has a in-house kind of editor. There's a million apps that are on your phone that you could get in the App Store to video edit. But iMovie on the Apple works just fine. Like I said, there's something comparable on a Droid. If you know that, type it in the chat. If you've got a Droid, put that little tool in the comments if you know what the name is. I don't know what the name is. So that'll work fine to do videos, and it works just dandy. So on your computer though, how do you video edit? Well, on the newer computers, if you type down here in the search, you can put in video editor, and there is an app that will come up. And this computer isn't that new anymore. This is probably 4 years old, maybe 5, I think 4. So this came on here. So if you type in the search bar at the bottom, type in video editor, and there will be an app on the PC. Of course, we know Macs have the wonderful iMovie, so you guys are set if you got a Mac. And then you can do some basic edits. You can even use YouTube for basic edits if you want. You can upload a video to YouTube, snip off the front and the back. You can change some color things. There's stuff you can do pretty nicely on YouTube. Some of the other video hosting sites will allow you to do that, and it's free. I will tell you that when we upload them into YouTube, if you're hosting it in YouTube and edit, that's great. But if you want to download, a lot of times you'll lose resolution. So just be aware of that if you're using that as an editor. There are some little apps that you can discover. There's a lot actually, but there's one called Boost and one called Promo that you can make little short videos, which are great for your Facebook page, your personal profile, running little engagement ads. And those are free and paid versions. They're lovely. So that's on your phone. You do it all on your phone, and bloop, 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 and it's all good. And then, of course, if you want something fancy on your computer, you could use Camtasia. Camtasia is a video editing software that is not cheap, and it's not easy to use. It's not a great commercial here for Camtasia, but it is I'm going to open it up. I have like a couple versions ago. Every year they come out with a new version and they make you pay for it. So it kind of sucks. But Camtasia is, this is actually 5 years old. It still works. But here is the inside of Camtasia. So Camtasia 2021 is now available. The funny thing is, this is 2017 version, and I have every year there's a new one. And for what I do, I don't need the newest and the most fantastic. Some people that do tons of video editing and stuff like that, they may need that. To be honest, 99.9% of you don't need this either. But it's like you can record up here, you do your clipping. It's like a full true on video editing thing. I will tell you that most of you don't need it. It's just that's a bigger spend. That's hundreds of dollars in the spend. And unless you're rendering and doing a lot, like I recorded an obscene amount of videos on my computer, tutorials, yada, yada, a lot. You can, if you're doing something like this, you could use Zoom, of course, to record, and it's free. And I have my clients use a they're doing a presentation or an overview and they need that for hosting somewhere, or, presenting about their company, I say use Zoom. It's free and you probably already know how to use it because most everybody goes to Zooms now. So you can record easily, from the web with Zoom, just like I am at the moment. But again, you got to make sure, if you don't want to look like a hobo, you put a light, and if you want to sound better, use a mic. But do you need that? No. I mean, those are frilly things, but it does, as you can see, it can make a difference. So let's talk about computer hardware. A lot of people have a hard time with their internet capabilities with the computer. There's an issue. If you are running ads on these platforms, social media platforms, it is near impossible to do them on your phone. You could try. I've had people try even on a tablet, and it's a disaster and it's a frustrating nightmare. So if you're going to run ads, you can run a group and you can run your profile and you can do stuff like that on your phone only. And it's nice because I have my ads running in the background, and then when people respond, then I'm using my phone, But if you're running ads, to set up the ad and load everything and build the audiences, it's not meant for anything but a computer. It is near impossible and maddening to do it on a phone or a tablet. Okay. If you have bad internet, it's also near impossible. So if your internet's really bad and you're loading videos and stuff like that, you might want to upgrade your internet because it's just really difficult. But can it be done? Sure. It can be done even from your phone to some degree with, transferring videos and stuff. But if you're running ads, you need to be on a computer. You have to. Use a well-running Mac or PC, doesn't matter which one over the other. But make sure it's running well or you will hate your life. The reason is the Facebook Ads Manager sucks RAM like you can't believe. Your screen will freeze, it'll be slow, they will hang. And your capability, if you're uploading, videos and things like that, will be difficult if your computer doesn't run well. Now, you might need to limp along until you can afford another computer, or, if it's a cost between, do I buy a new computer or do I run ads? We'll run ads. But things you can do to your computers, bring it in to be serviced, make sure all your programs are up to date, have them do like a dump of all the cache and defragment the hard drive and get rid of programs that might be sucking up your memory that you aren't using that are, like stuff like that. That'll help the operation of the computer. I almost bought a new computer just a few months ago, and my computer was running terrifyingly bad. And this is my lifeblood. And I buy the expensive computers. I think this is probably a $3,000 or $4,000 computer. I know it's over $3,000. Like I go to Dell and I'm like, give me the biggest solid state memory computer you build with the most RAM and everything upgraded to as much as you can. Because I know like in a couple of years, it'll be not the biggest thing anymore. But it was not even that old and it started acting crazy. And I had a problem with the battery. The battery in here really did some damage. It almost exploded. It started bulging and was hot. It was dumb. I didn't know what was wrong. And if now I know, when certain things are happening to my computer, I need to get them fixed urgently. But I didn't know like that. I thought that the back of this was warping. It was actually the computer battery, and it could have exploded on me and been very bad. And I probably would have stayed in the hospital if that had happened. However, it was acting really bad after that, and it was freezing and all the stuff. And I was going to get a new computer. I even had it in to be serviced. And I talked to the what do you call it? The service agreement was going on the computer. and it was almost expiring. Like literally, it was like January 15th of like a month ago. And I said, I'm going to talk to that tech person, right before my stuff expires. I want to milk it and see if the service agreement can even help me with this computer. Because I thought maybe it's still under warranty. I talked to the dude, and he had me do all these crazy updates. We spent like 2 hours on the phone, and like BIOS updates and operating system stuff. And my computer runs amazing again. So if your computer is not well running and it's not ancient, my point of the story is get that thing updated, clear stuff out, run performance optimizers and stuff like that, and it might be fine. So, and make sure you have a good internet connection. That's super important too, because when you're in the ads manager, just the interface of the ads manager, even on a good computer with good internet, sucks RAM. And RAM is kind of like the power behind that makes things work. So just be aware of that, but you cannot do it on the phone. I just am telling you. So let's talk about tools, because I talked about equipment. And is everything mandatory? No. Are some of these things helpful? Yes. The most needed thing is a computer if you're going to run ads. Okay. Other things are frilly. Now let's talk about tools, because there's 5 million things and everybody has their hand out with apps and landing pages and this and that and CRMs and all these things. Thirsty here. I've even built software for people, for network marketers, and for sharing presentations and managing your contacts and what is necessary, and I'm going to go through that, because you can go broke with all these tools, and some are great and there's other options that are free, because sometimes I do coach people who are coaches or network marketers who are coaches on the side, or even network marketers building content for their teams. People always want to go and get like a course hosting platform, and they're doing like Kajabi or what's the other? There's another one that's oh my gosh, it's really popular. My brain is not thinking about that this morning. Those types of things, where you can have all your materials in one spot, but they are very expensive. Some of those are $100, $200 a month. So you don't need that. You can deliver course content in a Facebook group, a private paid Facebook group, or even your email. I had somebody the other day who was convinced they needed to buy, this $100, $200 program that they pay that every month. The lowest one, I think, is $100 for that subscription. I'm like, you can deliver your content to your prospect through email, drip it on email, or put it in a free Facebook group and put it in the guides and deliver it in there. You don't need to pay Kajabi or one of those other types of sites. And the one is bugging me now. And I'm going to think about it in a minute. I'm going to blurt it out. I mean, because I've looked at everything for hosting my own course materials, but it's so funny. So if you're building your business and you have more than 5 people on your team, I think the threshold is actually 15. I remember when I started, and my internet provider back 5 million years ago was Earthlink. And when I started building my team, I had like 50 people in my organization, and I loaded them into Earthlink and was sending emails, and my Earthlink put me on timeout. They suspended me for like 2 weeks. And you can't email your team once they get beyond a few, or your prospects, especially if you're running ads, through Gmail, Hotmail, whatever, Proton Mail, Yahoo, any of that stuff. You can't. You will lose that Gmail for Yahoo, Earthlink. I know Earthlink, I think, does still exist. It's a shadow of itself, but your Spectrum Internet or Roadrunner, whatever you got. You can't. You need an email provider if you are going to collect emails and message your team, and you're going to use that. Email is still very much a viable source to communicate to people. I prove it every day in my own business, and even in my, some of you may have learned about this training through an email. People, it's funny, people don't respond to email in conversation like they used to, but it's almost like they're reading the newspaper. And then they look at that and then they decide to click through and act. It's interesting. Email has changed a lot over the last 10 years, but you need a bulk provider to send them. And it helps with deliverability. You get stats, yada, yada. But my preferred one is Aweber. Not, I've used Aweber for a long time, since 2013, maybe. The reason I will tell you that the crappiest service on the earth is MailChimp, and they hate network marketing. And if you have anything in there that indicates you're a network marketer, including your company's order links, eventually they will probably shut you down. And I had this lesson very hard with MailChimp. And this is why you've got to be mindful of who you use for email. A lot of these services are, they have them for free. You can get started and it seems easy, but MailChimp doesn't have any humans you can talk to like Aweber. And I had a major training that I was doing for the company, and I was emailing it out and I was doing all my stuff, and I needed to send out the last reminders to get to the call with the number information, do this Monday training I did. And I couldn't send it out because those sons of guns locked me down and locked me out on the weekend. And that call was Monday night. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, until they got back to me and unfroze my account, I couldn't email. And it was a critical, one of the biggest calls I ever did. And I couldn't email my people. And I said, F you, I'm done. You suck. And that was the end of MailChimp for me. So don't use MailChimp if you're in network marketing. Use services that are also easier to use. And I've used Constant Contact and Get Response, and there's a lot of them out there. There's some great ones. The number one thing that I look at for email provider or any service that I can use is, can I get customer support? Number one thing. Or do I have to wait over the weekend? Or can I live chat somebody, or can I call? Because sometimes stuff happens, and Aweber has never let me down. And I recommend Aweber to my clients. I use Aweber for almost 10 years. Probably about 10 years is when I switched from MailChimp. And you can get a free Aweber or $19 a month or whatever. But if you're going to be going to be communicating with your team, you're going to need email. And Aweber is one of my favorites. Now, many tools that your company may offer and all of that, they might have an email that's integrated in that might be fine for communicating for your team. But if you're running ads and you're running cold market, you're going to need a place that will fully integrate into Facebook ads using Zapier, or, even if you're manually carding people and importing them into Aweber, you are going to need a service that has been around and that is available for doing these connecting things. And that's Aweber is one of those too. So I'm just saying, you can use Constant Contact or Get Response. Those are also great ones. I'm just saying my personal favorite is Aweber, because I can call them if I get into trouble, or I've got instant chat if something's wrong and I need help, and they got great tutorials. And that's really that. So email is going to be something that'll be needed. And also a bulk text provider. You can only text so long through your phone. And I'm going to be really straight up. I don't want my prospects or people responding to ads that I don't know having my real personal telephone number. It's just me. I'm that kind of girl. And my phone number was never put on the bathroom wall. So the thing is with this is that when you use a provider of bulk texting service, and there are some out there that are good. I've tried about 5 of them, and I had good old Project Broadcast in the background that I was using for my own company. And I started integrating, I was using it to communicate with my team and all that other stuff because somebody in my company created Project Broadcast. And we've been using it for a really, really, really long time. And I was like, why don't I use this for my ads? And so I use Project Broadcast for my ad integration as well. So if you've ever gotten a text from me and you're on my text list, it was sent through Project Broadcast. And it's, and considering they charge like $15 a month for their basic package, you guys, it is 100% worth it because your prospects are going into the app, or you could check it, do the same thing on the internet. You can use it in the browser on your phone. You get your own phone number for texting that's separate than your real phone number. And you can even use it, like if I'm in the app and I click it and I want to call that prospect, it will mask my phone number and use the texting phone number. So my real phone number is not being out there. Like I said, I'm a weirdo about that. I don't want my real number out there. And it probably is somewhere. I mean, I've had this cell phone number for 20 years, but hair. I'm just telling you like my little reasons for things. And you may think that's dumb and you might be like, I don't care. I'll use this. It's fine. But Project Broadcast seems to be really, it's got some limitations here and there, but overall, I think it's one of the best text services, especially one for network marketing and integrating into your ads with Zapier. Zapier is like a bus that carts the leads from Facebook to wherever, and it gets things to talk to each other. It's a brilliant thing. It's almost like, the wires that you would use like from where your electrical power source is to putting a bulb in your room. And how does that electricity get there from point A to point B? And unless we're using Tesla technology, which we're not, you need wires. And so the Project Broadcast is like the vehicle that transports your prospects from Facebook to wherever. It also gets your other things to talk to each other. It's really cool. I'm not going into that today because it's not a necessary tool, but Zapier can make your life a whole lot easier if you are doing things. And that's a more advanced thing. But Project Broadcast is a basic text service, not super expensive, and made for network marketing. Okay. Let's see if I missed anything here. Yeah. And texting people individually as they come in, when you've got like, hey, we got a training tonight. Do you want to come? And you're texting out hundreds of people manually. When you've got 5 prospects and you're working your warm market, it might be fine. But when you're really working your business, you're going to need a way to communicate to those people, those prospects. And also when your team grows, if you have 1,000 people in your team, you can't do it through your phone. And texting is by far one of the most effective ways to talk to prospects. So there's all that. Now let's talk about websites. So I'm going to tell you to be very, very cautious. And when you join network marketing, your company, they give you a website and you're all set to go with your replicated website. Or your company might be big enough where third-party providers have created fancy websites that look really nice and you can just subscribe and you get your own site. I'm going to tell you, Facebook hates those websites. They hate them. They are the number one reason why people get shut down for MLM. It's because of those company replicated websites. And you may need that website to enroll people, but you would send somebody that link for your subscription, your replicated site through your phone or your messenger or whatever. But Facebook absolutely hates those websites. Okay. If you're sprinkling your replicated site around on your profile, your Facebook page, you're putting it on your page as your contact info, etc., it's going to eventually come back and haunt you. Facebook, when you're running ads, especially, or you're running your Facebook page, your business page, Facebook wants a hard domain, a real standalone domain. I personally like GoDaddy. They're cheap and they're easy to build. If that you need help, again, going back to like why I love Aweber, you can call GoDaddy and they'll help you. Like if you get stuck, if you're trying to build one on your own, or you can hire somebody to build one. Honestly, they're so easy to build. You could do it yourself. Most people. So, easy. And because when you put, that about you information on your Facebook page, your website, when you have a real domain and your real privacy policy that goes with that domain, Facebook loves that. If you want to have a complicated website, I even recently, likes2leads.com is built on WordPress. I'm floundering over there, you guys. I used to build WordPress sites in a matter of a few hours. And now I'm like, what? GoDaddy is the easiest way to start. If you want to be hard, do WordPress. I'm not recommending it. GoDaddy is the easiest way to do it. Buy your little domain, buy the little basic subscription for a site. Boom, for like $100 a year, you got a site. It's awesome. And like I said, don't use, again, I'm going to reiterate, your affiliate links, your replicated links, subscription links that you're using, which even ClickFunnels and Groove pages and lead pages, Facebook hates that shit, hates it. They don't want your name.clickfunnels.com. Okay. They don't want your name.yourcompaniesname.com. Okay. Like, you know what I mean? Like they're replicated. Or you might have your subscribed website.com/your name. No likey. It's a fast way to get into big trouble with Facebook because the bots crawl your page. They crawl your ads looking for these links. And if they're on there, they won't like it. I will also tell you, don't put those links on your websites. We've had Facebook crawl the website from the ad and find those links and have a problem with them. Use those types of enrollment links and information links once you're communicating with your prospect. You can send them through your text. You can send them through Messenger in the private communication. Don't send them through anything with ads. Okay. It also messes up deliverability with like Aweber and stuff. So file sharing, I'm just going to give you two other little tips. You're going to find that you're going to be sharing a lot of files. And this kind of goes back to earlier, people that might have, like a coach or something like that, where they've got information they want to share and put in it like a course or whatever. But you're going to find that you're going to need a way and figure out a way to to share files easily between prospects that want more information or even your team. So find a way to share files. There's a lot of different ways and you don't need to pay. Okay. Free stuff, but find a source you're comfortable with. Mass file storage, like backing up your hard drive. Dropbox. I use Dropbox. I think Dropbox used to be, and I think it still is hosted by Amazon S3. Very secure. I've had Dropbox for 12 years and I've never had a problem. But it is not always easy. It needs to do a little streamline, but I can share files really easy and stuff like that. But if I've got a prospect and I've got like a PDF and a handout I want to send, I can just get the share link and send it. You can also use Google Drive, a very popular Apple Cloud. I mean, there's different things for file sharing. It's super easy. You can also host your files in a Facebook group that might be just a prospecting group, where you tell people this is just for getting information. You put that in the guides or in the files area. So it's another way to file share, pretty easy. For video sharing, you can host your videos on Vimeo or on YouTube. And there are definitely good and bad with each. YouTube is super easy, super fast, all that other good stuff. But the problem is when your video is done playing, other videos that come after may not be so desirable. So there's that. Vimeo is one of my other places I like to host videos. you got to pay for the service to get some good features. So you can probably start out you can do some free Vimeo as well, but your features are limited, but it's quieter over there in Vimeo. I like that is my kind of my preferred, but YouTube, you also get the pro of getting traffic, organic traffic as well. So again, both pros and cons each, but you can share videos very easily through YouTube as well. So again, it's kind of a personal preference. For your lead tracking, if your company has a great lead tracking app, of course, use that. But if you are using ads and you want something easy, or you're sharing between people in your team, use Google Sheets. I mean, I know Microsoft, I've got Microsoft, I've got the 360 thing where, but I find that Google Sheets is far easier to share stuff. And you just have a Google Sheet and you put all your prospects information in there, or if your ads are dumping in there, and people could come in and other people can have access to it and edit that, and you can share information. So it's what I use for my ads. I'm not using anything fancy to manage prospects. I'm using Google Sheets. The prospect goes to Aweber, they go to Project Broadcast, and then they're also into Google Sheets. It's like, right? It's easy. I mean, it's free, and you can go and share it and give people access, and, it's wonderful. So Google Sheets, easy. I know, it's like awesome. And then the last thing I'm going to talk about is good photos. This is still another optional thing. Make sure when you're using stuff on the internet, you're doing presentations. Unlike today, I don't have any fancy photos, but if you're running ads, there's a lot of free sources that you can get free images that are good, like out there. There's a lot of places, but make sure the photos you use are royalty free, that you're not just searching on the internet and pulling up images that are like, if you do a search, say for golden retrievers, and you come in here and you pull this dog, you use a cute little dog, and you pull this image down, you probably don't have permission to use it. You can sort this stuff according to licensing if you want. There's sites you can get free images, free to share and use, free to share and use commercially, which if you're running ads, that's the one you need to do. Free to modify and share. And there's also websites to do the same. But please don't steal people's images. If you go to so-pet.com and use this picture, it's illegal. Okay, you're taking someone's stuff. But for the most part, you can easily, look at this golden retriever. Look how many different colors they have. Squirrel. But make sure that you have permission to use them. There are a lot of free sites, get the better resolution, because if a lot of times people will go in here, these are all really big images. Let me find a little one. There's usually a little one. These are all huge, huge. Oh my gosh, this is so unusual. They're all massive files. Here's one that's a little smaller, 564 by 845. If you downloaded that and put it into your ad, it may look terrible. Okay. So you want the bigger files. Oh my gosh, that puppy is so cute, so fluffy. Here's 540 by 720. That one would guarantee look crap. Even this one, see how bad the color is on this one? That would look terrible in an ad. Okay. So you want photos that are awesome if you're going to do an ad. These are all like, this photo, which is adorable, would look like crap in an ad. This photo would look great in an ad. Okay. So that's a whole separate training, but I just want to give you some place to launch and start and what to look for. For yourself, please invest into personal, professional photos. This is an investment. 100% worth it. I will tell you over and over again, I look at people's Facebook pages all the time. And if they've got a profile picture that makes them look like Charles Manson or Charles Manson's wife, it's not a good thing. So it's important to have a good quality photo of you. If you really can't afford a professional photo, there's the portrait feature on the phone. Get good lighting, comb your hair, put on some lipstick. And for women, you can do the same thing. It's important to have good quality photos of you. Investing in your own photos. And nowadays you get the digital copy of all the photos they take. You really want to invest into some good photos. I'm just telling you, it is really, really important. So you will use them for everything. You will. And that's my commercial on that. Out of all the things I've told you about, I'm telling you what to invest in and what to not to. Having professional photos is a really huge gift, okay, to yourself. You will use them in everything. And it's just a really, and it's not that expensive. Okay. So do it. You can use photos on your phone that you take all the time. Like if you're out and you see some cool landscapes or cool different things, take photos and put them in a file. You'll need them for presentations. You might, even if you get some good quality, you can use for ads and stuff. So even take your own all the time. I've got images that I use and stuff like that. So I wanted to hit here on the photos. You're going to need a bank of photos if you're running ads for sure. But if you're doing presentations, if you're posting on Facebook, if you're writing emails, even when you do project broadcast and you're texting people, if you have good photos of yourself, we'll text out a photo. Hey, Jen here. And you put a photo of yourself. And if you look like bad or the photo is like really dark and the resolution is bad, it's not making a great first impression. So photos are kind of a big deal. And again, do the best you can, but objectively look at your photo quality. And, does your photo look like bad or does it look, these are all so adorable, aren't they? This photo is okay, but it's got people in the background. It's a little distracting, oh, I've never seen that before. It's got the black and the gold. But you want to look at photos that, what would you click on? So it is, this is adorable. This dog is cute, but that's not a great photo for an image. A photo that would be striking, is a good quality, like this one. It's got good color and stuff. This one is gorgeous. I mean, look at this image. Beautiful image versus this cutie pie, not a good image for an ad. Okay. So anyway, so those are my tips and tricks for equipment and tools. This is a very important training that everybody wants to know. What is the secret script for closing? And what is the magic ad to write to get people to jump into your business? And this type of training here is just as important. And you'll have these questions one day, and you don't need to spend hundreds of dollars a month on all these tools. You should be able to run your business. I'd say usually on average, it's about $50 to $75 a month for tools and stuff. So sometimes less, sometimes more, but you can definitely get started between $50 and $75 a month. And that's part of your overhead business. It's a tax deduction. It's what's required to run your business. And if you're a professional, you have overhead, right? So until next time, this is Jen Springer, and I hope you have a wonderful week. Again, check out the links above and below. I've got some where there's rebroadcasts are for this training. And then for some other training, you can, adventure yourself into. And I will catch you guys next week. Have a wonderful 7 days, because the next one will be here before you know it. Okay, everybody, take care.